Oh, hello everyone. It's Crypto Granny here, Susie. I hope you're all well, looking after yourself, being kind to yourself, being kind and lovely to your children, your partners, and your beautiful animals, and just other people in the world, just to make this a better place and for animals as well. Now, let's look at live coin watch, and then we'll look at the videos for what's important today for our portfolios. All our portfolios are doing very well. But if you have a little bit of extra money, put some more into Pepe. I think that's going to really rip and go much higher, okay, in terms of price. So overview at the moment for the market cap is 3.251 trill going higher. We've got very large volume today of 236.608 bill. Liquidity is excellent at 7 bill. It's the highest I've ever seen it, which means money is coming into the market, okay? So people are buying. Bitcoin dominance is starting to go down. It's 59.20. Did get to 60, over 60% yesterday, okay? XRP dominance is 1.9492. Looks like it's waning a bit. Ethereum dominance has gone down a lot lower, 12.049. Tron is 0.53. Link 0.288, Solano 3.644, and BCH starting to rise at 0.2931 as it outperforms Bitcoin. Bitcoin got over 98,000 overnight, 98365. It's currently at 97349. You wouldn't sell this for the love of money. Seriously, you've got MicroStrategy buying, Mara buying Bitcoin. A lot of corporate treasuries are starting to buy Bitcoin, okay? And they're issuing debt, and we'll cover some debt stories today, which I'll describe what that is. So Ethereum's at 3324. Story about Ethereum as well, why it's underperformed Bitcoin so much. Yesterday, it's up against it, but when you look at the longer term, people are losing a lot of interest in Ethereum, and you're seeing that on Twitter as well, okay? A lot of stories about Ethereum. Solano looks great. It's 249.6, up 6%. Binance is going to break out as well. They're burning Binance coin, don't forget. 625.80. That thing could easily get to 1,500. XRP to me looks toppy. I'm telling people to sell XRP here at $1.11. I don't know how long it's going to take to get a new Gary Gensler. I'm not sure what the legal ramifications are of that, because his contract is still ongoing, I think, until 2026. So I don't know where that goes, right? But I'm not waiting, actually. To me, at $1.11, XRP is fully priced at the moment for the revenue that it's making. Could go higher, but look, that's what I think anyway. Dodge 0.3845, Elon Musk, that thing's going to go higher, obviously. He wants to create X as an exchange, a crypto exchange. So we keep an eye on that. Plus, he's in the government now. ADA's done well, but I don't like it at 0.788. I'd be a seller here of ADA. It's down to 4.4. Tron looks very good. It's going to break out very quickly. It's near 20 cents. AVAX looks pretty good, 335.48 going higher. BCH going much higher. It's up nearly, it was up about 10% today, 482.90, but it is outperforming Bitcoin. That's what I expected, because as Bitcoin gets more expensive, they're going to go to BCH, and that's just a no-brainer. We're set up for that. Link, $15, very cheap, up 2.55. Dot not doing that great, up 0.73 at 585. And Pepe is the one I think is starting to really break out. It's up 8% at 0.4021. So let's go to the, grab yourself a cup of coffee or wherever you are in the world, and let's go to videos, and let's talk about some of the main news stories today. Very, very exciting market. I'm mega, mega bullish, okay? If you've seen the stock market just keeps going up every dip they're supporting, right? And the stock market, as we know, is so overpriced, it's a joke, and crypto is seriously cheap, even at 3.254 trill. I mean, I believe crypto should be at 10 trill, and I think it will be by the end of next year, okay? I'm expecting a huge rally here, mega, and the reality is you don't want to sell too early, okay? I look at all our investment portfolios every day. If you have one, send it over to me. I'll look at it. But we're set up for a huge rally, and the coins I've got in those portfolios are going to do extremely, extremely well. So just wait until I give you a sell. Who knows how long that sell will be, because I'm expecting a big rally that's going to be continuous, probably for about 18 months, something like that. Okay, so let's pause, grab yourself a cup of coffee, and I'll come back to you and look at the main news stories today. Thank you. Back again, everyone. So let's go to the news stories today that came out in terms of economic data. US initial jobs claims for the week, 213,000. They're expecting 220, and last week they got 217. Uh, their continuing job ads are still very high, over 1 million. And people are saying out there that a lot of the big banks are going to start putting off people quite dramatically, okay? And we are seeing that in the tech space as well. Philly Fed Business Index is negative, which is very bad. They're expecting +8. Continued jobless claims is very close to 2 million, and it's not going down. So this is the long-term unemployed, unfortunately. Existing house sales, 3.96 mil. There's a chart here, and you can see in the past, the home sales were quite high, and now they're only down below 4 million, which is interesting. And existing home sale changes is up. But if you look at the leading index for change, it's down, which is quite negative for GDP. So let's have a look at what else we've got here today. Here we go. Yes, there was an international criminal court has issued arrest warrants for Israel's Netanyahu, Gallant, and the Hamas leader, I should say. I'm surprised about Gallant because Gallant didn't get on these two, and Gallant didn't like some of the things that Mr. I can never say his name, Netanyahu, was doing. So I'm actually surprised this guy has been, brought to the court, for horrible, war in Gaza and everything else, and killing many, many civilians. I think it's about 60,000 or so. There's another story here about Ellen DeGeneres has left the US and apparently is bought in the UK, and also Richard Gere, because they don't want to live under Mr. Trump, which I thought was interesting in itself. But I think Mr. Trump will do a lot of good. He's looking to replace Gensler. As I said, I'm not sure about the story there, but he wants someone very pro-crypto. This was off Twitter, X, and I thought it was interesting. The odds of big bank doing layoffs is skyrocketing, and people saying Bank of America 60%, Deutsche Bank 57%, UBS, which is Swiss, 38%, and I don't know what C is. Is that Citigroup? Yeah, it is. It's Citigroup. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of layoffs. We are seeing layoffs in a lot of banks in Australia. We're certainly seeing it in other parts of Europe as well. So that will add, obviously, to unemployment in the US. Also, we've seen this week in crypto, MicroStrategy acquires another 51780 Bitcoin for 4.6 billion, taking their overall holdings to 331,200. They're acquiring Bitcoin by selling debt into the capital markets, okay? They're doing a convertible note issue, which we'll go through, which effectively costs them nothing. I know it doesn't make sense, but you can issue a convertible note that gets shares or something at a discount, and it costs you nothing on the interest rate side because you're effectively paying for it in terms of the lower shares at a discount. If MicroStrategy's shares, trading at, I don't know what it's trading at, but $1,000, then, the debt instrument will give you the shares, say, for $750. And, we see Mara also doing that. Mara Holdings are buying Bitcoin particularly, specifically, and they'll probably start buying Bitcoin Cash as well by issuing debt instruments into the market. And they're very popular. Both of them have had to increase their debt size. We'll go through that. Goldman Sachs has spit out digital asset business within 12 to 18 months. All the big investment banks are getting into crypto. Crypto.com expands to Australia, which is really interesting because, again, they took over Fintech, which is an Australian acquisition, which is a very good one. And that's just some stories there as well, some quick stories. I've also got a story about Ethereum as well. Many people are losing faith in Ethereum. If we look at crypto to compare 24 hours, Bitcoin at the moment is around this price, 96,413, but it did get through to 983,401.21. And that's the all-time high. As I told you yesterday, many big traders are buying calls on Bitcoin, which is a bullish structure, a bullish investment, getting them long Bitcoin at 100,000 strike price. And for them to make money on those calls, Bitcoin needs to be above 100,000 on the strike price, plus the cost of the call. Okay, they bought a call. So maybe their break even's 105,000, but they wouldn't put these strategies on, and they're very short-term strategies by the end of the year, December. They wouldn't put these strategies on if they didn't believe Bitcoin could at least get to 125, 150,000 per unit, right? And I think it can get there because the ETFs are just huge. Hundreds of billions of dollars going to Bitcoin ETFs over and above Ethereum. Plus, as I said yesterday, BlackRock introduced options on ETFs as well, right? Which is going to make it even more bullish for Bitcoin, right? So, and as you can see down here, the accumulation index is rising all the time, and the exchanges don't have much Bitcoin left. So you don't need to be a brain scientist to work out where you think Bitcoin's going to be in 2030. A lot of people out there on X are actually saying that Bitcoin could get, to $1 million or anything, right? Some big lofty figures out there. And it's highly likely because there's one Apple in the world, okay? And the demand is immense, okay? So I think anything is possible in financial markets or crypto markets where there's no supply. So I've gone through that one before. So let's look at the next slide here. Sometimes I mix these things up. So this is another Twitter one, Investing Haven. 1 million Bitcoin sounds ambitious, especially by 2030. The path forward demands a mix of growth and stability. Widespread adoption is essential, and we're starting to get that. Don't forget, only 6% of the world is invested in crypto, right? 6%, which is nothing. This is still early days, people. He says also, regulatory clarity will play a big role. Now, we're getting that with Mr. Trump, so that's obvious, and very favorable economic conditions. And certainly there are, because, fiat governments and fiat markets, in terms of currency, for example, the US is in massive debt. Debt, the currency is going to go down. And as currencies underperform, and if we look at the Turkish lira or anything that's certainly underperformed over the last 5 years, people are going to buy Bitcoin, for currency underperformance, right? In the countries they live in. That could be Africa and Europe, South America, or anywhere, okay? So it's just a no-brainer. And if you look at this chart, it's on a log chart profile. This thing's going to go right up, right? It's so obvious, people. It's not funny. Anyway, this is about Maro Holdings. Oh, I don't know why I've got the music here. I shouldn't have it here. Okay, I must have changed this. Bear with me. It's very weird. What should I do? I didn't check that. I thought I didn't have any music on this. Okay, give me a second. I'll have to fix this up and come back to you. Sorry. So Maro's issuing, Maro Holdings, like MicroStrategy, is issuing convertible notes, debt instruments with an equity component, and essentially buying Bitcoin, okay? So that's what their corporate treasury is doing. And pretty much there's a lot of corporate treasuries now doing this, okay? So they completed a $1 billion offering of a zero interest senior convertible note, okay? And the majority of those proceeds will be used to buy Bitcoin, and it's going to cost them nothing, okay, in terms of interest rates. The convertible note has a structure of debt, as well as, if you want to later on, buying equity of Maro Holdings, okay? And as I said before, the equity that they issue with the debt instrument essentially will have an option to buy those shares, and to buy those shares at a cheaper price, hopefully, than where the actual shares are in the market. So the original target, they were looking at 700 million, but because of investor demand, they got up to 1 billion, and essentially have 988 odd million or whatever left to invest in after expenses and this sort of thing. So it's a great story for those guys. They can basically borrow money from the capital markets just with a debt instrument for zero interest rates, and then effectively buy Bitcoin. So their shares were converted with a premium, which is a great deal for Maro. at 25.19 with a premium 42.5%, right? And this is a great deal for Mara. For me as a debt holder, I don't think I'd do this. But again, if you believe in the company and you can acquire some shares, and maybe the shares are going to be much higher, by 2028 or whenever the note expires, in 10 years' time or whatever it might be. So these guys have around 2.6 billion worth of Bitcoin. We also see MicroStrategy doing the same thing, Mara copying MicroStrategy. They announced the pricing of 2.6 billion zero convertible note senior note due in 2029. And again, a great deal for MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, right? The more he buys Bitcoin, the more people in the equity market buy MSTR. This is a no-brainer when you think about it. You're using one product of funding, which is debt, right, to buy another product of investment, an asset, which is cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. And I think this is a fantastic story. And every corporate treasury with money should be doing this. You don't want to be sitting in fiat currency where you're lucky to get 3.6% in the fiat market. But mind you, if you go to crypto, you can get anything from 16% or 20%. Crypto is a no-brainer for leveraging or, for staking. So crypto, honestly, is a no-brainer. It really is. And Bitcoin will rise, as it becomes a much bigger shortage. So, they've got until 2029, which is basically 5 years, to pay no interest rate at all. And by that time, Bitcoin in 5 years' time could be at $5 million per unit. This is a very, very smart strategy. And every corporate treasury that has liquidity being assets to invest in other investment assets, should be doing this and buying Bitcoin. And then originally with Michael Saylor, he bought Bitcoin on average at 38,400. Well, of course, it went down to 17,000 over the period of 2020 to now, 2024. And he got a lot of flack from the management, the board, everyone, right? But the guy, you got to give him credit, stuck to his guns and basically said, look, Bitcoin's going to be a lot higher than $38,000 per unit on average that we've paid for it, right? And he's absolutely right, because now MicroStrategy is a Bitcoin fund, okay, really. It is a Bitcoin fund because it goes up. The stock goes up with the price of Bitcoin. And the correlation is very high, like 97% or something. So, very interesting strategy, a very, very, very smart strategy. And a matter of fact, we all should be doing this, even on an individual level, borrowing as much as we can if we can handle it, and buying Bitcoin. I know it's hard to do, but some people have done it and made themselves billions. There was a Dutch company, a Dutch family a couple of years ago that did it, sold their house for 600,000, put it all into Bitcoin, and now live off, millions and millions and millions of dollars. If we look at the futures on Bitcoin, they're rising all the time. Open interest is going higher and higher and higher. And people are buying more options on futures. Bought calls, I said to you the other day, BlackRock's options, they've sold like 82% bought calls. Which is amazing. So people really believe Bitcoin is going to go much higher. And also you've got the Trump trade as well. Okay, so to me, it's a no-brainer, people, really. Bitcoin, in my mind, will be at 150 by the end of the year. I said to a couple of my clients, be 125, but 150 is fine. And I think that's pretty much where it's going. And anyone shorting Bitcoin or anything else, it's like that could seriously rise, like Link or AVAX, they've got to be nuts, right? They've got to be crazy, because all the data is saying this market's going straight up and it's going to be a mega, mega rally. And I called the bottom of this market too, when Bitcoin was around 17,000, 16.5. Everyone's going, oh, Bitcoin's going to go to 2,000, going to go to 2,000. It didn't. It got down to, God, if you're lucky, I don't know, 15,500, right? But, it's a no. Yeah, Lizzie says I'm ranting. I'm just tired. Anyway, so you get my gist. Now what else we got? A story here about Ethereum. Why is it not doing as well as Bitcoin and other coins in the market? And the very, to be honest, people have actually gone off Ethereum in a lot of different ways. Okay. Uh, if you look at the last lot of trading on Ethereum, the last 2 weeks or so, the last 2 days, I should say, has been 230 million gains and 141 million in losses because it looks toppy and people are selling. And that's not good price data when you think about that. Okay. People are losing money by buying Ethereum, and essentially, other things are pumping and you just can't be in it. And there's a lot of reasons for that because they're not growing at all in terms of accounts or anything else. And hasn't even got to its all-time high. So, and it's seriously, seriously underperformed Bitcoin. If you sold Ethereum and bought Bitcoin on a spread trade, you would make a fortune because they're still selling Ethereum over and above Bitcoin. They're buying Bitcoin. As I said, a lot of corporate treasuries are doing, a lot of governments now, and many, many other people are buying Bitcoin because we have FOMO and it's going to continue, and they'll also go into BCH. So, yeah, there's a couple of stories there. Let's go through. Was that story? I got a couple of Twitter things on this actually, which I thought was quite interesting, and it basically said it all. Okay, here we go. So this is the Bitcoin. Let me just go back again. Sorry. Here we go. Got on hold for a minute. This is, oh, damn. Sometimes it moves too quickly. Bear with me. Stop. Ah, still didn't get it. Okay. Gosh, that's hard sometimes. Wait a minute. Bear with me, people. Stop. Okay. Anyway, you get the general gist. It's just gone straight down. Sell Ethereum and buy Bitcoin. Also on X, Ethereum is losing the popularity contest. Many people are concerned by the competition of Solana, according to a new CoinGecko report. People like Solana, 38.8%, according to this report, and only 10.8% like Ethereum, which I think is very interesting and very telling. People are looking for cheap bets, basically, and some people are saying that Ethereum is dead. I feel the same way. I'd rather be in something like Pepe. This is an article about social sentiment at Pepe, and it looks like we could break out to 0.00026, something like that. After that, it could go a lot higher. So I'd rather be in something like this, even though it's on Ethereum. It's one that really a lot of the traders are in. Okay, and getting longer and longer. What else we got here? Here we go. Let's go. So that's that one. Oh, Mr. Sun bought a piece of artwork, a banana, which is perishable, for over 6 million, which tells you Justin Sun from Tron is a very wealthy guy. Ripple lawsuit is still going on. People are waiting for a change in Gensler, but according to the article that came out today, Ripple SEC lawsuit, the US Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, hinted at digital asset securities claim. They're still saying that XRP is a security. So I don't know how long it's going to take before they change Gensler, but I think at the moment, XRP is fully priced. That's my view. So, and I think I'll be probably right on that. Let's see what else we got here. Right. So we'll just see what happens, but I do think it's going to underperform. There's a great story on Avalanche, actually, and we're in that as well. And it's a layer one, very, very cheap, very decentralized. It's a proof of stake, which is really fast rather than proof of work. And it has scalability, security, low transaction costs, interoperability. And Avalanche is a great story and it's very cheap. If If you look at the transaction counts, they've been rising astronomically. The delegated counts rising. The stats are very good. Monthly transactions are moving up quite a lot. And, they have powerful, high transaction throughput, as well as very, very good security and scalability and interruptibility and low fees. They can process up to 4,500 transactions per second. That's pretty good. If we compare it to XRP, it's about 2.5. And they're doing extremely well. Mind you, Solana can process 50,000 transactions or more. But anyway, it's a good story. They're into DeFi and all sorts of things. And I think AVEX will do very well. I have a valuation on AVEX of something like $125 within about, probably 18 months. Okay. So, yeah, it's a fairly good story. And, it's quite a quick network, and they're actually making a lot of money for the network, as well as increasing their client base, their clients on the network. So I think it's not a bad story at all, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, guys and girls, that's enough for me today. Please look after yourself. Please enjoy yourselves. Look after your family, your friends, your beautiful children, your beautiful animals, and look after people in the world and animals, just to make this world a better place. And thank you very much for listening. Have a great night. Thank you.